Right then, people. As you can see, I've given it a tippy-toppy too. That's got domage. That domage on that glass there is bigger than the dome of my head. Well, hello there. Perfect drafters. How are we doing? Are we good? Good. Because, people, we've got a perfect draft keg in. Yes, we have. And we love them, don't we? I've done a few sub-torp reviews. The Sorp is... The Sorp? That's the Sorp Torp. The Torps are no more. Although apparently, well, the subcompact machine is no more. So that's another competitor this is blown out the way, isn't it? Although people would argue it's more of a blade competitor. But anyway, I've just noticed there's a Drippy Droppy Drew there. Drippy Droppy Drew, get off you. Anyway, that's gone. So probably won't be that many more Torp reviews, but it lets me focus on the old perfect draft, doesn't it? And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's happy days because there's quite a few kegs now that I haven't tried. So that little bit of a break that's given me has enabled a range of beers to come in and say, hello, Baldy, give me a review. If a keg could talk. Talk. Don't know how a keg would talk or how it would sound. But if it did, I would imagine a keg would sound something like, hello, Baldy. Right, so this keg is basically Old Peculier. Now, bit of a different one this. So Theakston's Brewery, no less. And that's nice to see, isn't it? I just noticed when I did that little flicky flu, I gave it a bit of a splash. I've kind of got some splashes over the baby. It's a bit... Get rid of that. So yeah, classed as an old ale beer by Theakston's. This is a 5.6% little belter. And let's face it, it's one of those you've heard of, and it's loved by many. Not just my words, but also the words of Theakston's themselves. Many a person on these British Isles love a pint of Theakston Old Peculier. With hints of dark cherries, figs, raisins and prunes. There's a spicy quality to this beer with hints of nutmeg and cinnamon. That's some flavours there, perfect drafters. So if we're getting an abundance of flavours in this, not to be surprised if you got those kind of ingredients in there. Being a darker beer like this, being a darker ale, you've got the bitterness, and that perfectly complements this style of beer. So, I'm looking forward to this little beauty. What are the facts though? I've already said it's 5.6%. Price-wise, you're normally looking at £38.90, so it is below that kind of, always look at that marker of the 40 notes, and it's below that, £38.90. But it is often on offer. And at the moment, as of recording, it's £33.07 because it's got a 15% off. One thing I've also noticed in terms of pricing, they're now doing free shipping on a single keg. Now that's worth noting because I have had feedback, comments in the past saying, Baldy, it's all very well and good, saying it costs this much or that much or whatever. But generally I do base that kind of pricing on free shipping because I'm ordering 3 kegs, which is what it always normally is. So that, for those people that do just want to buy the singular kegs, is well worth looking out for now. Because this one works out at £2.50 a pint now. So that ain't bad. It does seem like Perfect Draft kegs are getting some decent discounts once more. So that's nice to see. With Father's Day and with the Euros and stuff like that, they're piggybacking on that to also offer different discounts. It's good to see. There's always an excuse. There's always something coming up. So I can't see those kind of discounts stopping. Anyway, away from the price, that, whatever it is, does not affect the taste. So let's get this baby poured, yeah? It's the usual order of play, people, as long as you haven't forgotten. And what that is, let's have a look at that keg. Let me do the pour, let me bring it in. We'll see if we can see any bubs. It might be a bit of a dark one. It is a bit of a dark one. So we're probably not going to see that many. I've got my tiny Rebel glass out because for this kind of drink, this kind of dark ale, I like to have a standard looking pint glass. And with all the different reviews that I've done in the past, I've got quite fancy glasses. I haven't actually got that many. There's just a standard pint glass. And I wanted it. And I do like my tiny Rebel glass anyway, especially because it's got a nice little teddy bear on there with a winky eye. It's the end of the week. I'm feeling like a pint. I've had my chips and burger, so I've had a perfect kind of dinner to say, Baldy, you now need a pint. So I'm looking forward to that. I've got some snackage, as per usual, and I'll bring that out. I'll have a snicky snacky snoo. I'll let you know what I think to both of them, and I'll rate both of them. Usual order, people. Let's get stuck in. So there we go. There is Old Peculier by Theakston's. 5.6% ABV. The Legend. I like that. Old Peculier, the Legend. Standard 6 litre keg. Perfect draft jobbo. Lovely black background. Nice gold kind of ember. So here we go then, people. Tiny Rebel glass, like I say. Now I've got this set to 6 degrees. That's the recommended temperature of it. Let's give it a pour. There we go. I'll tell you what, I did a little click there as it dripped. It was poetry. Let's bring it in. So there we go, Perfect Drafters. Look at that. Pretty compact, quite a creamy head. Yeah, and actually got quite a bit of a head on that. Got to admit, we'll have to be giving that a tippy-toppy too. We can't see a lot else. Like I say, it is quite a dark one, that. It's quite a dark one. Yeah. It's smelling all right. I'm not going to get the schnez in there. It's not the Baldy way. Look at him winking at you. It's not a tiny Rebel pint, this, though. Not a tiny Rebel keg. Not had one for a while. They are good. But anyway, this is Theakston's Old Peculier. Let's stop looking at it and let's taste it. Right then, people. As you can see, I've given it a tippy-toppy too. That's got domage. That domage on that glass there is bigger than the dome of my head. That is sticking out. But I'll tell you something. The compact nature of that head has kind of given it some good structure. It's like solid. Yeah? That has got moustache written all over it. It really has. Okay, look at you. Just look at you. I'll tell you something. Where's my bar runner gone? I've normally got a bar runner here, and I don't know where it is. I've not even got a bar mat. Not even got a bar mat, people. Let me get a bit. A bar mat. What am I talking about? Let me get me a beer mat. Here we go. La Trappe. I got some of these with Perfect Draft giveaway type things. Used to bob these in the box. Anyway, there we go. There's that. It's a bit of a juxtaposition, that, isn't it? Juxtaposition. That's when you got something odd next to something else odd, I think. Not that that's that odd then, really. It's a beer on a beer mat. It's just the kind of contrast between a La Trappe and a Old Peculier. Right, with that waffling, the domage has gone down a little bit. That looks like a decent pint now. One that you'd be happy with, served in your local pub. Right. Although I've got to admit, and I'm going to admit this right now, you might have spotted it when I brought this in. I haven't cleaned that glass to the optimum effect. When you get little bubbles on the side of your glass, you've washed it with something that's a bit greasy. In fact, I'm not sure if I don't want to blame her. But I'm not sure if I didn't actually wash this one myself. And sometimes when other people wash the glasses for you, the due care is not put in. Anyway, I'm waffling again. The head's got to be totally dissipated by the time I have a sip. There it is. There's the Old Peculier from the Theakston's Brewery, or Theakston's Brewery, and I'm going to have a sippy suppy soo. Cheers, Perfect Drafters. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. just slammed. I wouldn't want to say slammed. It was merely a little forceful drop. That beer mat there in happiness, because that's different. And it's nice to get different stuff on there, isn't it? You know, this, it's got the bitterness there. It's got a bit of fruitiness about it. I can see where them kind of raisins and figs and things like that are coming in. But there's a lightness to it, and I like that lightness. Lovely mouthfeel. Lovely mouthfeel. Not over-carbonated. I think the 6 degrees is good. A lot of flavours coming out there. Good stuff. Yeah. Those flavours that are read out, the cinnamon, little bit there. Probably in the aftertaste you get a bit of the cinnamon. But definitely the fig kind of taste there. The darker ale nature of that I'm liking. Probably a bit more of a winter drink. But then, you know, the darker beers are. But this is a nice ale to have on the Perfect Draft. It really, I do hope it's selling well. It's been out a few months now, I reckon. And I hope it's selling well. I do remember when they were advertising it, it was well received. I think people were quite excited about it. I also believe, you know, like Paul and Michelle, they've done a review of it. I think All the Beer No Idea has as well. And I think they received it quite nicely from what I remember watching. I think this has been received well. Well. So, is it selling well? That's the thing. I mean, Dark Arts was received well, wasn't it? Rest in peace. Yeah, but that's nice. That's tasty. That's tasty. But a bit lighter for a dark ale, like I say. And you could have a few of those and be quite happy. What would it go well with? A pork pie? What don't go well with a pork pie? You can tell I'm a Melton lad. Anyway. That's nice. Good flavours. Nice kind of, you know, mouthfeel there, quite full, as in, you know, you get that ABV. You know, that kind of, what is it, 5.4%, did I say, around there? You get that, and you know you're having a drink. That's good. It's nice. The carbonation level's good. Aftertaste, good. A quality pint. It's a quality pint. And I'll tell you something, I think I've had it in pubs before. Obviously not much of a difference there when I catch that little drip. In you go, son. And I think, yeah, people are going to be happy with that. That is a nice addition to this Perfect Draft. Very good. You know, if you're going for a few different ones, you could have a nice lager in there, like a Theakston or something like that, or a Jupiler or a Lowenbrow. You could stick that in there. You could have a nice IPA, get a Goose IPA in there, or a Vocation Life and Death, and then stick this one in there as well. And I'll tell you something, that's a hell of a 3-pack. I've been saying about, look, we don't always buy 3-packs, Baldy. Just, what do I do for a single keg? But if you was having a 3-pack there of a nice variety, that's it there. What a 3-pack. Anyway, that is good. Very nice. Let's have a bit of snackage before I rate it. Okay, so what have we got here? We have got Max. They're not Max Strong, but they are Max Extra Flaming Hot. Now, what intrigues me about this is I do like a spicy snack, but what is Flaming Hot flavour? Because to me, Flaming Hot ain't a flavour. It ain't. It ain't a flavour. You know, with a Max Strong, which are jalapeno and cheddar hot, I don't think they say hot, but they're strong. You know, they're flavours. Flaming Hot isn't a flavour. It's just a thing. It's kind of a reaction almost. I don't know. Reaction? Don't know. Don't know what you'd say, but yeah, it's not a flavour, is it? Any verbiage? There is. Walker's Max, the irresistible, deep-ridged crisp, bursting with intense flavour for the ultimate taste, experience in every bite. Now deliciously spicy in extra flaming hot. Looks like they've got some What's-Its crunchy flaming hot. That's interesting. Also Doritos. Slightly less interesting, but intriguing. And then these. Right, they're not suitable for they are. They're suitable for vegetarians. No artificial colours. And they're in date. Happy days. It's a 130 gram bag. Let's have a taste. Whoa. Yeah, there's a bit of a smell there, but again, it's like, I don't know. Can't smell a flavour because there's not really a flavour. It's just the look in orange. They have gone for a Saint-Tropez tan. Is that what you call it? Like spray tan or something like that. But look at them. Huh? They're orange. I mean, I'm pale. But put them next to my face. Look at that. Right, let's get them in. Okay, yeah. Good crunch. What is flaming hot flavour? It's not really a flavour. It's got spices there though, so I suppose it's like a plain crisp with a kick. And yeah, it's got a kick at the end. I wouldn't say they're absolutely magnificently strong. They're not as, I wouldn't say, as spicy as the jalapeno and cheddars. But then these are not strong crisps. These are just Max. So they're like the Max Paprika kind of style Ridge crisp. And, you know, they're good. Good crunch, good mouthfeel, nice, go down well. Good beer snackage, happy days. And there is a kick there. I'd say they're hot, not flaming hot. They're good. They're nice. They're acceptable. They're moreish. You could eat them. Do they go well with this? Not bad. Not bad. I mean, you could probably have better. But I think nuts would go down better with this. Actually, some roasted nuts. Because there's a little bit of a roasty, toasty flavour to the old Theakston's Old Peculier. It's Old Peculier from Theakston's. You know, there's a roasty, toasty flavour to that. So I think some roasted nuts would go down very nicely with that. I would say ratage-wise, I'm going to give that a 9. Now, that is very strong. It's a strong score, but there's not a lot else to compare it to on the Perfect Draft. That's what I would say. And if I'm casting my mind back, if you kind of thought of something like Die Bells, oh my word, you know, that's the kind of thing that springs to mind as in a darker ale, and that was awful. It's terrible, you know. So this absolutely steamrollers over that. This is a 9 for me. Very nice. It's refreshing, even though, you know, it is kind of a darker ale. Still refreshing. Keeping its head nicely. That's a good one. It's getting a 9. Those, bit disappointing. Not really blow your face off. You know, you don't want them to blow your face off literally, but, you know, a bit more of a kick would have been nice. I'm going to give them a 7. You know, I've had worse, don't get me wrong. I've had them lentil crisp things. So, there we go then, people. That gets a 9. They get a 7. That was the latest Big Bold Reviews. But for now, people, whatever you're doing this weekend, make it an absolute belter. Make it a good one. Enjoy. Have a few beers with a few mates. Enjoy, Perfect Drafters. Cheers. Have a good one. Cheers.